Welcome back, my beloved twin flame brothers and sisters. I'm back to my home in United States. I'm back from my uh, journey to twin flame discoveries, where my twin flame journey took a turn into a physical, actual journey overseas that lasted for 6 months minus 2 days. I came back with so much more abundance and fulfillment and inner spiritual knowledge about myself in the first place. That aspect of self where we are both feminine and masculine within, and where it's completely balanced, and where if you're born into physical body of a feminine and you feel that divine feminine energy, where you learn to balance it to become true feminine muse to your divine masculine, and at the same time to contain the divine masculine within yourself, to be part of yourself, and outerly in physical form to accept the masculine as a separate physical being, which you are connected to all the time, as long as you don't feel that illusion of disconnection and illusion of separation. So the true feminine, when it becomes fully balanced with itself, then it can feel masculine at all times, or at chosen times when you wish to, when you seek him out, when you want to talk to him telepathically, spiritually, when you want to feel him within yourself. I've had experience with that last night, for example. As I If you followed my videos, as I mentioned, different channelers that I experienced this journey with. I left behind, basically, in physical world, in this journey, I left behind in Europe Marin and Merim and Mirza. If you guys remember all those names that started with M and contained the word Mary. And so Merim, for example, I missed him terribly last night. I felt that our story is not finished, that our story is not completely fulfilled yet in physical, due to circumstances that was, well, not only on my own doing, but yes, partially on my own doing, and also his own part where he was in the runner stage. So during that part, I connected with another channeler, Marin, and it was all meant to be, of course. But like, due to circumstances, I wasn't able to complete the story with Miriam, and so last night I felt great missing for him, to speak to him, and we are still connected on social media, so I could just contact him and say things, but I felt it was more appropriate to do it telepathically and in spirit form. So I fell into a state of meditation, and I just spoke to him. I just spoke to his heart. And then I fell asleep and had a dream that we escaped together to some sort of an attic room, like a room in a small attic upstairs, and we ran away from Marin. And that felt pretty much like reality, like very similar to basically some similar things that happened in Europe just like a month ago. But this was like a like a new episode, like thing continuing in this dream. So we were trying to hide and sit down and talk and embrace each other, and he told me to run away with him, to leave Marin behind, and I told him that Marin is also part of my divine feminine energy, and I cannot leave him behind because his love for me is also real, and it's not to be disregarded. So I was kind of in a dream, indecisive, exactly like in a vacant state, what to do. And not also, well, in a vacant state, I was not just indecisive. I was afraid that Mary would get to have like a bad, experience if I try to break up with Marin, and I was afraid of a scene, of a drama, of what might have happened in a small town where we all lived together. So that was in a real like the reality, what was happening in a 3D world just a month or two ago, like I said in the previous video. So I kept Miriam away from all that drama and trouble. And when we saw each other on the street, uh, just maybe 20 days before I left, he told me, when you solve that, when you complete that, come back to me. I'm waiting for you. So in a dream, he was saying, let's run away together and let's be together. And I felt so much urge to run away with him because I miss him so much. I am the one who is so much uh, in love with him, with his energy, with his angelic presence. He has a very powerful angelic presence to himself, and with him, I feel the crown chakra is. He's the crown chakra channeler, and at the same time, Marin is the third eye chakra channeler. So it's very hard, it's just a step up, but you can't, you know I'm also not done. I wasn't done with the crown chakra yet. It's and we're talking about real people here, and people with real feelings. You just can't, disregard one person and just go away with another. And like I told Mary on the social media just about a few weeks ago, just before I left, the timing wasn't right. Our timing was always off a little bit, but it wasn't just the timing was off. The destiny was really there for us, but his ego, his running phase was there happening to him. He got afraid a bit of his high emotions, so he did that escape thing. Also, there was work involved. He was really busy for his excuse. And then I met Marin, and I couldn't let you know not let Marin happen in my life, because it was meant to be too. So things got complicated. Anyways, like back to the dream. Last night I was dreaming about him, and we really spoke. I felt that it was the real connection. It wasn't just a dream. It was a really 5D connection, and the psychic conversation that we had. And as soon as I woke up, first I got text message from Marin, and then Marin said, I have to go take a shower. I'll talk to you in 15 minutes. Let me just take a quick shower. And suddenly I received message from Miriam, and it's actually him sending me a video from the shower. Yes, as crazy as it sounds. So yes, Mariam went to shower, and then Mariam sends a video from the shower, and he says, I miss you so much. And I got a little bit on ego side again. I said, why are you sending me video from the shower? It's when it's not just our our connection wasn't just physical, although it was most passionate of all connections that I've ever had in my life. But I'm not going to deny that. But our connection is much deeper than that. And then he replied, "Yeah, I didn't know how else to. It just came to me to do it this way because I felt your energy. I was thinking about you constantly right now, and it was impulsive thing to do. And after that, I actually left my phone. I didn't answer him back. I didn't answer Marin back. I uh, I went into a meditative state and felt just balance with the universe, with the universal love. And it's hard to explain right now to you where I'm at this point. Like, I came back physically into United States, but I just feel this need to explain to you that the realization that I came through this journey is that um maybe easiest way to explain is to tell you what tattoo the tattoo on Marin's arm says. Okay, the tattoo on Marin's arm says one. But in a sense, in the language that is written in our native language overseas, it doesn't just mean one. It means we are all one. We are one of many. And that's that's the message on his arm that he says that he has since he was 15. At the same time, on the same place on his arm, Miriam has a message that says, when you have, it's an old proverb from our old country. It basically says, when you dip your spoon in the honey, which is metaphorically, it means when all is going well, when you're full of abundance, when you're full with money, when you're full of health, when you have a good job, when everything's going great. So the saying goes, when your spoon falls into honey, right, when it's dipped into honey, then everyone gathers around you like bees. But when you're in troubles, there's only God and family. So basically, it's amazing how things developed just before I left. I wanted to share a few things from the 3D world that were just amazing synchronicities. So, for example, just 5 days before I left, like I told you in the previous video, I was really afraid of Marin, what he may do. I felt it was karmic trap that I fell into, that the things with him were karmic trap. And then I suddenly realized that the way he loves me is real still, just like Asim said, his wife loves him, and he cannot just leave her behind. And that was the most painful part for me. But then I realized that Marin does love me, and he is also the channeler of the divine masculine. And like I said, the third eye chakra uh, energy comes from him. He's very awakened, but he has been uh, dumping the toxicity of the drugs, and he was using things like speed and pot and things like that in all the time before he met me. And then suddenly, over overnight, basically overnight, he left all that behind on his own accord. That was amazing part. And like he just said yesterday to me over the phone, he said, you sobered me up. You sobered me up. And he does have great capacity. He's a, like he says for himself, I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard. he doesn't know how to describe, in other words, the divine masculine. So he says, I'm a visitor. He's very a vacant soul, but like I said, he was dumping toxic, like literally toxic waste into his brain for many years. And so I realized the trap that I was in, I could convert into a golden cage, sort of. So, what I did in the time that we spent, in the last weeks that we spent together, when I was missing Mariam terribly and I couldn't see him because I was with Mariam, I used that time to help Mariam to completely clean himself of these toxic uh, chemicals, not only toxic like drugs and things like that, because he did leave all that behind, but also friends, bad people that he surrounded himself in the past. I gave him advices. I was doing projects on my house, so I involved him in the projects. I made him busy with work, and taught him a thing of two. I'm older than him, so and I'm also experienced with construction work and things like that. And he was amazed by all that, and he found me to be great influence on him. So I basically transmuted the feeling that I was trapped karmically with him into something healing for him, something positive for him, to get him out of the things that he put himself into, um, to grow out of that, because he is really already a vacant soul, and for his age, amazingly well uh, knowledgeable about the whole idea that twin flame community shares. He knows that, and he considers me his twin flame, and I know it was all meant to be. But like I said, the trouble for me was that I couldn't, because I cannot be with two people at the same time. Nobody should ever. That is cheating, and that is always wrong, and that will, believe me or not, that's always going to be wrong, in my opinion, even if I do it ever in my life, because they say never. You can never promise yourself that you're not gonna do something in your life that you think currently that you will not do. Hopefully not. But like I'm saying, I hope that I will never cheat on someone, like be at the same time with two people, and lie to someone on behind their back. I think that's the worst thing. We don't want to do that to anyone, because we don't want that to be done to us. So I couldn't be with him, with Miriam at the same time when I was with Mariam. So uh, and Miriam understood that, and he wasn't jealous. Well, maybe he was jealous, but he didn't he wasn't giving me trouble about that. He just told me, when you get out of that, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. But I couldn't get out of it, because Marin was with me till the last, like technically till the last minute that I left. And I left on the bus, and he waved to me. He actually, his father and him put me on the bus to Croatia, and then from Croatia I flew to Germany. Anyways, days before I left, like I said, I missed Miriam terribly, but I used that time to spend quality good time with Marin, and to connect with him on a level of friendship, and good teamwork and advice, and put light into his life. And he knows that, and he tells me that every day now. He says, you're the light of my life, you're my muse, you are my inspiration to become a better person, to change my ways, to change my life, to grow up. So 5 days before I left, my family from another part of the country came over to see me, a cousin and his wife, and they asked me to go visit an elderly lady that is also a relative of ours. She's my mother's aunt's daughter, very old lady, and her son just recently passed away. So uh, I didn't know where her house was. I didn't know where she lived, even though I was in the town for a while. So when these two came over from another town with their car, they slept in my house and they met Marin actually, and they also gave good beautiful example to Marin about good family life, and these are very good people uh, that live very good righteous life, and very wise older people. So Marin was there to meet them. He was sort of hosting them with me together, and then they slept in my house. And next day, we went to. Marin didn't go with us. I went with my cousin and his wife to visit our elderly cousin whose son just passed away, like I said. And when we were in her house, she said that she has a lady, young lady, who takes care of her, who is sort of her kind of like a housemate, someone who comes and helps her, cleans for her, helps her with with the hard home, like housework and stuff like that, and is her companion, and she pays her some little compensation for that. And when that woman came over, so we were sitting and chatting and having coffee, and that when that woman came over, she seemed young and very sort of someone who you could see just from the look in her eyes that she suffered a lot at young age. And then my old cousin, she said that she's looking for a husband for her, that she may be looking for someone 40, 50 years old who's interested in marrying a nice, decent woman who has grown up children, and that she's been divorced for a long time. And I looked at that woman and I said, "You don't look like someone who should be with someone who is 50 years old. You look so young and so beautiful. And uh, I don't think anybody needs to look for a husband for you. I think you should just be yourself, and just I think you're beautiful and amazing." And she seemed very shy, and there was something about her that just was just so appealing to me and so sad at the same time. There was some sadness around her, or I don't know how to explain. And then when I was leaving, I felt curious about her, and I said, "Well, where do you live? Do you live far from my old aunt's house? Do you live far from here?" And then she told me the part of the neighborhood where she was from, and and then it just dawned on me, that's where Miriam lives. That's where he lived. And just few days before that, he texted me and he said, "Well, if you cannot meet me at your house, can I come pick you up in the car and you can come to my house?" This was first time he offered me to come to his house, and I said, "No, I cannot do that now. I cannot break up with Marin, because I tried to break up with Marin and he's not taking no for an answer. And I don't know, I'm stuck with Marin. I cannot leave Marin right now. And I will not cheat. I will not like come spend the night with you, be in your house. That's out of question. But I do miss you so much." And so, like I said, I knew he mentioned many times what part of neighborhood he lives in, but I've never been in that part of town. And when this lady mentioned that part of the neighborhood, I just kind of had a flashback, and I said, "Well, do you know this and this person?" And I said Miriam's name and last name, and she looked at me. She made a pause. She looked at me like deeply in my eyes, and she said, "Yes, I know him. I am his mother." And I, I felt like it was amazing. Like I cannot describe to you. I have goosebumps right now. what an amazing feeling that was. And because like I told you guys, he told me before I met Marin, when I was with him and when we were together, he told me that his dad left his mom when she was pregnant with him and his twin sister. And I'm very emotional right now. And he left. He left them, and that's probably why Marin. I'm sorry, not Marin. Marin has the fear of abandonment and fear of commitment, right? That's what I understood from the day one. That poor baby has a fear of commitment because he was left before he was even born, and he has a twin sister who lives in another part of Europe right now. She's married, and he's the one who takes care of his mom. And he was always very quiet about his whole situation, and he worked really hard, and I love that about him, the way he worked, the way you guys remember, if you remember my previous videos, that he's a waiter. He was a waiter at the hotel where I stayed before I could move into my house. That's how we met. And so I told his mom, I said, wow, I see the resemblance now. Your beautiful eyes, and you know, your son is a great friend of mine, and he made tea for me when I had pneumonia a couple of months ago when I came here to town by myself. And you really raised a wonderful son, and tell him I said hello. And she looked at me, and I don't know if she knew anything about me, if he told her anything or not, but just a few days ago when I spoke with him over social media, when I came back here to United States, and he sent me a message and he says, well, where are you, little girl? Because he calls me little girl. And that's funny because he's much younger than me. And but his passion over me, and he's the way he has power over me in that, in our conversations and in our physical world is amazing. He's the most masculine that I've ever met, and at the same time he's the most vulnerable boy that I've ever met. So when he said another day, where are you, little one? So so where you've been? And he knows that I flew away to United States. I said, well, I ran away from all of that mess over there, from Marin and from you and from everything. And I said, well, tell hello to your mom. I met her in the most amazing way. And he said, sure, I will tell her you said hello. And so I'm just trying to explain to you guys here how we are all connected, how we are all one, and how I learned. Now I'm still trying to put things together and make a larger picture of everything that happened in the last 6 months. And I just want to say hello to all of you, and tell you that I'm back and that I'm safe, and to thank you for all the prayers you did for me. um, and that it's the whole thing with Marin, that I couldn't be with Miriam, helped me to understand Asim better, and how he couldn't leave the karmic relationship. I'm still not completely, I still haven't forgiven him completely, because I still don't understand why he didn't call me and find out how I was doing by myself. But I'm getting there. I'm kind of getting a larger picture of this time when we are in karmic situations. It helped me understand much better that yes, you can love more than one person at the same time in a different way. And now I want to share the most amazing part with you, which is what happened in 3D when I did come back here. You all know that was during the full moon. There was other amazing things that happened, but I'm gonna leave that for the next video. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. But uh, what really happened when I came back, day after I came back, there was sort of like a remembrance, like a tribute service to a friend of mine who passed away a year ago here in the United States. He's of Indian heritage. He is of a Sikh nation, of the Sikh religion, and his mother is mutual friends with my organic twin. I hope you guys still remember Arslan, my organic twin, who is from Pakistan, and who I haven't seen in years, by the way. And when I came back, the day after I came back, I went to that tribute to our beautiful friend who passed away at the age of 33 last year. His mom invited me, and I was so excited to be able to attend the services for his mom and for the sake of my friend. And when I came there, the first two people that I ran into, I was with my mother, who I miss terribly and I haven't seen in 6 months. And me and my mother walked into that building, into a Sikh temple. It was filled with people, and the first two people that we ran into is my organic twins' mother and father. And I spoke briefly with his mom, and then later on, I ran into his dad again and spoke to him, asked him how he was doing, and such. Didn't ask about their son. But I thought that was amazing that I ran into my organic twins' parents right after my return. And then next day, his mother appeared at the mosque, as we are, you know, of the same religion. And so she was in mosque next day, and my mom told me after the services that she hasn't seen my organic twins' mom in the mosque for the past 6 months that I was gone, and that was really weird. That's how my mom put it. It was really weird that his mom came over to the mosque after such a long time, right after I came back. So that was a little bit interesting synchronicity. And then I gotta say that if I was ever not confident enough about my organic twin flame, now I am, after all these experiences in the past months in Europe and everything. I always felt that he was my perfect 10, if not 11, like I said once. And you guys may remember that before my trip, the day before my trip, I found a playing card uh, on the floor of the hospital where I was working at the day before I left the United States 6 months ago. I found the 10 of hearts on the floor, and I carried that card with me the whole entire time I was in Europe, and I brought it back with me here to the United States. And as far as my readiness, if my organic twin flame showed up right now in any shape or form right now in physical 3D world, I would not be afraid to face him like in the past. I would not be afraid of the strength of our energy. If that energy still existed, if it was still as powerful as it was in the past, and his physical appearance wouldn't scare me as it used to be. Like, oh my god, like I would lose senses. I would be so overwhelmed with uh, the beauty that I saw in front of me, his divine masculinity. I would not be afraid to meet him again at this point. Now I leave it to the universe. As far as my chakras, I had sort of like a test experience when I came back. 3 days after I came back, I got contacted by Sacral Chakra guy. If you remember him, I owe him so much love and gratitude, and I do feel great love for him, and blessings upon him. So it all started with him. He was my first awakening, my chakra awakening, and when I met him, he opened me back to the feeling of love and being loved. And so uh, we remained in sort of like on and off contact. While I was in Europe, he would sometimes ask me how I was doing, when will I come back? He missed me, and so and so. And so when I came back, he kind of knew that I was kind of coming back in November. So he contacted me 3 days after I came back from Europe, and he requested to see me just to go out together and see each other. And I actually brought him some gifts from Europe as a friend, and I did go out to see him shortly on the fifth night after I came back, and he he still has the same magnetic connection to me, but I felt I had no more feelings that the sacral. I felt that sacral chakra was completely healed and balanced at this time, as well as all of my other chakras, besides crown chakra, like I said, which is connected to Miriam, which I feel is a little bit still the unfinished story between us. By the way, yesterday, like I said, when he asked me where I was, when he sent a video from the shower, he said he was in Sweden. 5 days after I left Europe, after I left our town, he also left our town and went to visit his sister in Sweden, and he found a job there, and he's gonna stay there over the winter while I'm staying in the United States over the winter. So maybe we'll see where that story ends. Of course, I'll keep you posted. And I kind of put a closure with the sacral chakra guy. He's leaving for Afghanistan in 15 days from now, and I wished him farewell. He's going to see his parents after 5 years, and I hope for his safe travel. And I just want to remain friends with him from now on. And I also wished him to get married, to find a perfect soulmate in Afghanistan, hopefully, as he also once wanted, as he was like. As he always wanted to marry someone from his own country. Now he might have changed his mind a little bit over time. And that also tells me that we all, when it comes to divine feminines, we change the lives of these people for better. We open their chakras too. We open their energies. We awaken them, and I feel that I awakened something in each one of these channelers that needed to be awakened within them. And I feel grateful to Allah, to God, to universe, to the source for sending all these people into my life. And also I'm grateful for all the listeners, subscribers, considering that YouTube doesn't really post my videos much high, and I don't have that many views. I have an amazing number of subscribers, and I love each one of you. And now I just want to share something amazing that happened to me today. I went to the library, and on the way there, I found a card. I'm gonna video that right now for you guys. So I found this card that is Three of Hearts. And at first it kind of disturbed me a little bit. Maybe I didn't read right into it. I thought, why just three after I had that 10 of hearts? Um, and then I realized this is the three hearts left in my karma still, which is Marin, Merim, and my organic twin flame, who lives here in the same city here in the United States, whose parents I just saw a few days ago. So I'm still in touch with Marin uh, over phone. He still is strongly connected to me. I still haven't wrapped up the story with Miriam, and time will show what happens with my organic twin. So the Three of Hearts still remains. And then as I walked back from the library, I was astonished to find. Actually, I was waiting at the traffic light, and I was astonished to find first this card flown by the wind, and it was right under my feet, and it's five, and of course 3 and 5 is 8, which is the number for infinity and for abundance. And then I kind of the light turned green, and I was just about to cross the street, and right there on the crosswalk, amazingly enough, I found this 8 of Hearts, and this is exact number of the channelers that I had in my twin flame journey so far. It was 8 of Hearts, and like I said again, the infinity sign, the sign of infinite love. And I think it's beautiful message that I'm divinely protected, I'm divinely guided, and that the journey of the twin flame, the beautiful journey of twin flame discovery, is yet to be continued. And I feel that the happy ending is about to reveal itself soon. I remain in love with you all. I remain in love with divine, with the source energy, with the source of love. And like Marin's tattoo says, we are all one, and we come from many. And like the Quran says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From one we come, from one God we come, and to one God we all return. So I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your patience, and stay in love and stay in peace. God bless you all.